All right, let's talk about Africa. And the dominoes of Western power are falling all over Africa this evening. The fourth Western-controlled African country is in the middle of a military coup to topple its corrupt Western-backed leaders. And other African nations are today purging their ranks for fear of coups sweeping through other countries in Africa. We'll get into that here in a moment. The country that we're talking about today, though, is Gabon in Western Africa, a neighbor of Congo. Here it is on the map, right there on the water, right there hugging the coast. France, of course, colonized Gabon in the late 19th century. It ruled until about 1960. And during that time, of course, France exploited Gabon's natural resources. After it stopped ruling, it still continued to pilfer its resources. They picked their own president to lead that country. He was a puppet of France since the 1960s. The family has been a puppet of the West since the 1960s. Gabon has been under one family leadership, which is still controlled by France as a neocolonial puppet. And over the past 24 hours, a military coup has unfolded. Brice Oligui Nguema to be the new leader of Gabon after ousting President Ali Bongo. The former president's family has been in power in Gabon for 55 years. Here is General Brice. You can see him being hoisted up there by his soldiers. The ousted president released a video. Now, it should be very clear. The video you're about to see and the president you're about to see, who's under house arrest, he's like, I mean, it looks like a little weak man now sitting there. This was Obama's like really close ally. He was the man who did his bidding in Libya for him, helped to destabilize Libya. He's been a puppet of the United States and France for years. And he's stuck in this presidential residence right now, releasing this video. He almost looks like President Biden. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know what's going on. And he's asking for people to make noise. Watch.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, for the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence. Right now, I'm in the residence and nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise, really. I'm thanking you. Thank you.
Yeah, so to all my people out there who I've kept in poverty for years and enriched myself with the backing of France and the United States and pocketed millions of dollars, I'm calling on all of you, the people I've kept in poverty for so many years and given your resources away to France and the United States. I'm calling on you, good people. I'm calling on you, the good people like Bane and Batman. You, the good people of Gotham, rise up, make some noise for me. Make some noise for me, your little cowardly president. Oh, the people took to the streets, but they're not making noise for him. They're making noise for this coup d'etat. Watch. Now,
that is noise.
Now, they're making noise. They're making noise. Now, this is a cautionary tale. Of course, we all remember. You think about Amin and other military dictators. So, okay. Now you have a military coup. That's not the end of the story by any stretch of the imagination. No. This is just the beginning of the story. So let's temper our celebrations for a moment. What are they celebrating? Down with corruption. Down with President Ali Bongo, who's long been considered a puppet of the West, a well-known puppet of the West. Obama could get him right on the phone to do his bidding, making millions of dollars from the United States and France while keeping his country in poverty. That we know. Suitcases and bags filled with bundles of banknotes CFA francs, dollars, euros were found in the son. The chief of staff of Noureddin Bongo, which is the eldest son of the deposed President Ali Bongo. So they found just piles of cash, piles of US dollars and CFA francs and euros. Take a look at this. Payoff money. Suitcases. When I get my cash delivered, I like it to be in large duffel bags. Suitcases shipped right to my door. Keep doing our bidding. This was all found in his house. Where's his son? Oh, his son has been grabbed, arrested for treason. Treason for selling out the people of Gabon. Yeah, take our bribes. Allow us to keep stealing your minerals, basically. That's exactly what this money is. It's blood money. You'll be rewarded handsomely for it. A number of French leaders have admitted that without stealing Africa's resources, France would slide into being a third world country. Here's an article from the Global Times. This article is over 10 years old. And it quotes how both former French President Jacques Chirac and François Mitterrand admitted that, quote, without Africa, France will slide down into the rank of a third world power. Yes, both Jacques Chirac and François Mitterrand had made that prophecy. Without Africa, France will have no history in the 21st century. Without Africa, without pilfering its resources, France would be a third world country. Imagine that. Just think about how Africa could rise up and look like Norway, right? A mineral-rich area just like Norway that exploded in popularity and cost and living. What am I trying to say? Not cost
because
of living.
Of oil and gas discovery in the North Sea in 1969.
But
right.
Not cost of living. I'm trying to say quality of life.
Prosperity,
yes.
GDP explosion.
GDP, exactly. France, just as an idea here, now you know why France is freaking the hell out. France controls the pumping of Gabon's oil, and the uranium goes right into France in order to help them build nuclear weapons.
Or nuclear reactors for the nuclear power plants that France doesn't want to use anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So that uranium that's there in Gabon goes right up to France. France simply lined the pockets of the president, giving him millions of dollars. And this relationship has enriched this family for 55 years. And of course, the Bongo family controlled the presidential palace under the watchful eye of the United States and France and other Western leaders. France has 110 companies in Gabon. The U.S. extracts over half of its oil. And nearly half of the country lives in abject poverty. How does that work? An oil-rich nation, a mineral-rich nation, just like Norway, except utter poverty thanks to Western control. Perhaps not any longer, though, because the country is wildly rich in manganese, diamonds, gold, uranium. Minerals are so important to the country's economy that the entire economy revolves around the country's mining industry. The country is rich in timber, by the way, just like Canada. The amount of timber this country has is phenomenal. Billions of barrels of crude oil reserves. So no wonder Western powers like France and the United States are scared shitless at the prospect of Africa kicking out Western influence in Niger and other countries.
And actually raising their standard of living based on their own resources.
Right. And aligning with the BRICS nations. At the Africa Summit a few weeks ago, President Putin saying, we want you to keep your own minerals. You should be able to enjoy your own sovereignty and make partnerships that keep you safe and secure, not be raped by the West. So Africa is lining up some new friends these days, and tired of being bullied. And I want to just show you here the amount of crude oil reserves in Africa in 2021 by country. Just leave this up on the screen here, and I want to see if anything jumps out to you here. Look at the names of all of these different countries. And then I would love for you to do just a simple Google search to see how the United States has destabilized or placed troops or is basically raping the minerals of these countries. The list is pretty exhaustive. All of these countries have some sort of Western meddling involved in them, do they not? No one bigger than Libya, which totally destabilized, and the United States, of course, assassinated Muammar Gaddafi. So look at this list. It's unbelievable. And of course, Gabon worked lockstep with President Obama to totally destabilize Libya. It's interesting, right? When your friends stop helping you. Look at this chart. It's unbelievable. And then you have demon, of course, Victoria Nuland, who is, I think, a walking demon, was just in Africa panicking over this Niger coup. And according to the Gray Zone, she was panicked and desperate. Desperate. Victoria Nuland. I love seeing her desperate.
Yeah, she is Dolores Umbridge.
She is. According to a veteran South Africa official who attended meetings with senior U.S. diplomats in Pretoria, however, Nuland and her team were demonstrably unprepared to grapple with recent developments on the African continent, particularly the military coup that removed Niger's pro-Western government hours before she launched her multi-stop tour of the region. In over 20 years working with the Americans, I have never seen them so desperate, the official told the Gray Zone, speaking on the condition of anonymity. Desperate. Love seeing her desperate. Of course, though, desperate people do desperate things, very dangerous things. Look how the BBC portrays, though, this uprising, this coup in Africa. Africa's coup pandemic, they're calling it a pandemic, spreads with Bongo's downfall. This is how the BBC frames this, that it's a pandemic that people are rising up to throw off the shackles of colonialism. It's a pandemic. It's really bad for them. Or is it just bad for you in the UK, the home of the BBC, and France? So will France slip into being a third world nation as the result of losing all of these resources and uranium and oil reserves and all these other minerals, manganese and timber that they so heavily rely on? Time will tell, but we're going to keep our eye on this and these other African nations, which are now starting to purge their ranks to make sure that there's not military leaders, perhaps, who are thinking about overthrowing their leadership as well. Right. So there's fear running through Africa tonight.
So now it remains for us to watch who are the alliances, right? Because will ECOWAS decide, oh no, this is not acceptable. This is the bloc there that is Western backed that has been speaking out against Niger and saying, oh no, you need to return the country to the previously deposed president. Will they speak out about this? We know that already the United Nations has condemned this coup in Gabon. We know that the U.S. has. We know that the United Kingdom has. And so why will they say that they condemn this coup? Is it because they're speaking for democracy? Is democracy one family in power for 55 years? Will that be the reason that they give us? So we'll watch. Is this a spreading, I wouldn't call it a pandemic, a spreading ethos of decolonialization, where Africa now takes it seriously and says that our resources should go to enriching our population? Is that true? Or is that overly optimistic? It's time to watch these things seriously now that we see this movement.
We're also seeing...
Did you guys watch The Crown by chance?
Oh, yeah. Love The Crown.
So remember like how important Africa has been all the way back then? Like the Queen literally went to Africa to save that relationship. And that's how important it has been to the West for all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To have, it's the thing. It's like, why is Africa not stronger? Why is there not some sort of an African EU or where trade is easy among African countries? It's kept that way on purpose by the West.
Right.
Right. So that Gabon can't easily trade with Congo, its neighbor. Why is that? Because the West tells them not to. Why are they telling us not to? Why are we not allowed to trade with our neighbors? Oh, because France doesn't want us to trade with a country that this is how they keep you under the thumb. They also don't want Africa to industrialize. They want Africa to basically skip that step. The rest of the Western countries were able to do that and enrich themselves. Germany, Europe, the United States was able to industrialize in a large capacity. They want them to basically skip that step and be a third world nation that jumps right to using solar power and skip all of the industrialization process. And we're going to watch you do it. So yeah, it's amazing to watch Africa right now. I think it's really a story that needs more attention in the Western media. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.